What's going on, Metropolitans? You are locked into another edition of Mets Digest, your one-stop shop for all the content that bleeds orange and blue. Flobo Boys here, and well, as we get closer to the trade deadline, we finally have an idea of what the blueprint is going to look like for the Mets, and it may look like Pete Alonso staying, and if he does, what does that mean for the moves we have to make? Now, before we get into all of that, just want to say thank you so much for taking your time of checking out this brand new channel. You can tell we are building a community here for the best fans of the New York Metropolitans. So please hit that subscribe button. Tell us what you think about the videos and the content. We've got a crack team and we're growing day by day. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. About 24 to 36 hours ago, there really was a discussion about where Pete Alonso was going to go. There are a small but mighty contingent of people that are pretty much seen enough. Hey, man, ship that guy off and maybe get some kind of haul or return. And even though that Pete Alonso is the face of the franchise, and we talked about his charitable contributions, talked about him really being the flag bearer for the Mets, him being a homegrown talent, we really weren't sure what the Mets were going to do. Today we finally get some clarity. Will Salmon in The Athletic, the other article that does crack coverage over there with the New York Mets organization, that says that the team has pretty much have put the feelers out to other teams that they're not going to move Pete Alonso. Even that is a good sign for two reasons. One, to kind of see what the core of what the team is going to look like on the back half of the season, more importantly. And two, organizationally, we're not punting the season. There's a lot of teams, especially in the National League, that have to reconcile that conversation about what they're going to do. Are they buyers or they sellers? And I know if you're tired of buyer and seller talk, tough. It's trade deadline week. You look at the Chicago Cubs putting the feelers out, saying they're willing to move pieces, and other teams are looking to go shopping as well. And this means it's a seller's market. Those with pieces to sell can pretty much get a haul. And I think that's going to be what is the standard practice this go around. This is David Stearns, who's the president of baseball operations, first trade deadline. And we've seen what previous trade deadline managers have done. I'm not sure if you're pro Epler or anti Billy Epler, the former GM, but you can tell it was a controversial one as well. So with that being said, there really was a bit of analysis going around from SNY, which is the local carrier of the Mets games. Gary Keith Ron, the best booth in baseball, confirmed. But that team has crack coverage, which I appreciate as well. This one comes from Danny Ariano. I want to make sure I can bring this up for you here. And I thought this quote was pretty interesting. Check this out. It says, if they want to take a big swing, the Mets can call Chicago White Sox about Luis Robert Jr., who was signed through 2025 and has club options for 26 and 27, Ariano said. Or they can call the Marlins about Jazz Chisholm Jr., who they almost certainly get dealt, but will be more expensive to acquire. Chisholm is an arbitration eligible through 2026 and incredibly inexpensive, meaning he's just making $2.65 million this season. And you're probably going, whoa. How'd you go from Pete Alonso to Jazz Chisholm and Luis Robert Jr.? And I'll tell you, well, if the infield's pretty much locked in, and we all know we are going to need arms, our bullpen, our relief staff is kind of shaky. As I record this, Jake Diekman has had the save of his life, freezing up Aaron Judge, but you can't guarantee that's going to happen every night. So if that is going to be what we have, and we know we have to get pitching when it comes to the shopping aspect, the thing we can bolster is our outfield. And I think more importantly, with Sterling Marte's health issues, always seems like he's out extended period of time, and even the rotating cast of characters like Tyrone Taylor and DJ Stewart having cold processes with the bat, even Nimmo himself is cooling off. You kind of really want someone that can help you out in the outfield as well. Someone who's really athletic, someone who can really put some numbers in there, someone that can make you go, this could be a bit of a threat, especially in the back half of the lineup. Now, Jazz Chisholm Yeah, that guy. Cover artist or cover athlete of a previous edition of MLB The Show has been very, very polarizing to say the least. I do think that he is a fantastic talent. I do think that a lot has been said about what he can do for a team and how he can bolster a team, but he does play with a certain kind of flair that may be off-putting for some. Also, his extensive injury history isn't a perfect investment, but he's young. And he's definitely someone that can play a positive role, especially with the offensive side of things. We just had that series in Miami. Jazz Chisholm was always scary, always felt like he was just one hit away from really turning the tide of a game. And so when you have someone like that dangerous, and I know we don't usually work with people in our division, it may be good to have that as well. The other option that was mentioned was Luis Robert Jr. And I know there's a lot of teams that really want Luis on the team on their squad, but I want you to take a look at this kind of production. I mean, look, 11 home runs isn't going to set the world on fire, but two things to note here. One, Chicago is in an abysmal state of affairs right now, kind of the joke of not only the league and the division, but the entire sport. But even with that low production, he's still in the mix for the long ball on our squad. I mean, we are pretty much have been underachieving when it comes to long ball production. And I do think having that little bit of spice to make sure our lineup is longer, especially with JD Martinez slowing down, especially as Francisco Alvarez is cooling off offensively, having someone just a little bit younger, a little bit athletic, and a little bit more durable, even though he is coming off from his own injury from 2023, will make things a benefit. Luis Robert is batting .232. Jazz Chisholm is batting .249. These are, if you do believe in batting averages as being the standard stat, are pretty solid into what we have as well, but can fill out the 6, 7, and 8 spot, what tends to be our hole. Right? It tends to be the part where we struggle the most. Even though Harrison Bader's been cooling off in the ninth position, he's always been great of turning over the lineup for the 1-2. And even though right now also Lindor and Brandon Nimmo are cooling off, that combination really was a boon for us in June. It doesn't seem as high wattage as it is. But as of right now, and I'm recording this the night of July 23rd, we are 30-15 coming out of May 30th. I mean, we are at a clip of 2 wins for every loss, and that's going to put you in playoff contention. And we've seen that come in waves with long ball games. We've seen that come in waves with small ball games. We've seen that with defensive classics. We've seen that with the OMG games for Iglesias. When you add certain pieces, you may put our team in a run. And I do think we should participate in the Luis Robert sweepstakes. And if not, and if Jazz Chisholm's available, which he very well might be, why not have him come over to Queens as well? If Pete's staying, now it's time to fortify the outfield. Now is the time to make a run. What do you think when it comes down to our trade needs? Is there anyone on your shopping list if you were general manager or the president of baseball operations? Who would you choose? Let us know in the comments below. You have reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for hanging with us. We are Mets Digest. We are the best one-stop shop for Mets content. Stick around. More things are coming down the pipe.